It was an option that you guys could have done earlier in the year too. If it's okay if you don't, I'll show you. Okay, so found poetry is when you, sorry, I'm going to skip all this stuff, get to the actual. So you're going to use the examples that you found in the poetry, in the songs. Okay. Remember finding the figurative language examples in songs? You're going to use those for the project, whichever project you're doing. So this is the first option, found poetry. Personally, I think this one is easier, but some of you like the idea of memes and creating memes, and that's where like you are stronger showing your understanding that way, and that's totally fine. I'll show you that one here in a second. So your found poetry means you're taking words that somebody else wrote and you're putting them in some new order and making something new out of them. Think of it as like a collage with words, kind of. Okay. So you're going to use the figurative language that you found in song lyrics in week 13 and 14, and you're going to apply them to this found poem. So those are the words that you found, right? Because you looked in song lyrics and you found them. And then you're going to rearrange them to make a poem out of them. So there's a couple of examples of found poetry. This one is really blurry. I'm not really sure why, but you kind of get the idea. Like they crossed out some words and kind of circled or squared or highlighted others. So then those words are the ones that you see left. They make a poem. So that one's kind of cool. I like doing these projects called Altered Books, and we do those in there. So this found poetry, this is a description of it. Happy poets who write found poetry go pawing through popular culture like sculptors on trash heaps. They hold and wave aloft usable artifacts and fragments, jingles and ad copy menus and broadcasts, all objet trouvé, the literary equivalents of Warhol's Campbell soup cans and Duchamp's bicycle. By entering a found text as a poem, the poet doubles its context. The original meaning remains intact, but now it swings between two poles. The poet adds, or at any rate increases, the element of delight. This is an urban, youthful, ironic, cruising kind of poetry. It serves up whole text or interrupted fragments of texts. So I've seen somewhere you like they will use like signs that they see or transcripts from like trials, stuff like that. Like you can use all kinds of stuff. This particular one, we're using the examples of figurative language that you found in song lyrics. Okay. So if you did not do that assignment correctly, you're going to need to go back and fix it first so that you have the correct material to use to work with. Okay, so if you did not get full credit on the figurative language example assignment in the week 13-14 module, you need to revise it and resubmit it so that you can get the stuff that you need to put in your found poem or the meme, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of people missed some. Like some of you got all of them correct, but a lot of people at least missed a couple of them. So if you even missed a few, you want to make sure you have them right so that you're using them correctly, or you're using examples of figurative language in your project. Plus, both of the assignments are worth 20 points. So you're only getting half of it if you do one and not the other. So you're going to want to do both of those things to make sure you do it correctly and get your full points. Okay. So it's just confusing to me because you guys are really good at identifying what they are. Like if I give you, if I give you a line and I give you the options to choose from, you're good at saying, oh, I know what that is. That's personification. But it seems like you struggle finding it in a song. So I'm not really sure why, but I can help more with that too. So this is more about found poetry. The whole point of found poetry is you're making something new out of something that already existed. If you put the lyrics from a song, the same song in the same order, and try to turn that in, that is plagiarism. You have not made anything new. You have used the other person's words in exactly the same way in order that they did. You just removed the music. That's not okay. But how to make it not plagiarized is to, make sure you have a different examples. It can be the same artist if you want. I told you guys that before. You're not going to find them all in one song though. And so at least you're using multiple songs and then you're rearranging them in new orders. So it's becoming something new. It's becoming something different. And you're specifically using figurative language. So you're not going to use some lyrics that don't relate to identifying and using figurative language. So that's what makes it not plagiarized, and that's what makes it fair use. You're using somebody else's words, but you're also going to say, this is a found poem made with song lyrics. So you're giving credit, like you're not trying to claim credit for the lyrics that you're using. Does that make sense? This is an example that I made last year or 2 years ago or something. I don't remember. I used Led Zeppelin's song lyrics for this. So if you look at it, if you actually look at what this poem looks like, it's using Zeppelin lyrics, the lyrics that they wrote, but it's putting them in putting them together. They're from different songs and it's using them in a new way. Okay, so some of you that have heard Led Zeppelin might recognize some of these lyrics even, but it definitely has become something new, something different from what they had created. So it's fair use. This one, I always call these ransom note poems. We used to do them in brick and mortar. We'd cut out a whole bunch of words out of magazines and then they'd make found poems with them. Obviously, ours isn't going to look like this because we're using the lyrics from the songs that you guys just, typed. So it'll look more like this. But you definitely want it to look like a poem. You don't want to put it all together like a paragraph or an essay. There's also a link here for another one that I wrote a long time ago using reality TV show titles. If I don't know if that would help you to see a different one, but it's there if you want to look at it. So this tells you what to do. You're going to use the examples that you gathered from song lyrics from weeks 13 and 14, and you're going to rearrange those examples to make a poem. You're going to have 10 lines minimum. You might not use every single one of the examples you had. If your onomatopoeia doesn't really fit in your poem, you don't have to use it. You're just using 10. You might end up with like adding a line of your own, or maybe you're like, okay, I want another line from something else here, so you might have to jump in and grab another example or something. Remember, sir, you were like, oh, I'm going to redo mine. And I said, don't redo it. Go ahead and keep the examples you had, but you might go out and find a couple more examples that you like better to go in your poem if you're choosing the poem option. So you're going to rearrange them, and you won't be able to find them all in the same song. You're going to have to find them from at least different songs, if not different singers. But you want to keep your words to a minimum. Like if you need to add an occasional word here or there, that's okay. If you may like put in one line that you wrote to kind of tie it together, that's all right, but you should try to keep that to a minimum. The majority of this poem, that's why it's called a found poem. It's the examples that you found. That should be the majority of them. And you're also going to say that, like, it'll have a title. You wrote it, even though it's not the words you found, someone else's, but you wrote the poem. And then you're going to say that it is a found poem made with song lyrics like this. Do you see how I did this? The beginning of your poem should look like that, just with your title, your name, and where you got it. So if you got your lyrics from like a bunch of different artists, you don't have to list them all here. You can say lyrics from, or poem, a found poem made with song lyrics or something like that. Okay. So that's the first option. You guys good on that one? You know what to do? As long as you have that figurative language examples assignment done correctly, you should be totally fine to do this. You just rearrange those in a poem and you're good. Okay, so this is the second option. You're going to choose 5 of those examples. So this one, you're only using 5 of them, but it's a little more work because you're making memes from those 5 examples. So again, you're looking at the examples that you found for the week 13-14 assignment, and you are going to make some memes illustrating them. Okay. So you have this kind of is a lesson about memes, like explain them. I think you guys understand what memes are though. So we're gonna, sometimes it's satire, whatever, but we're gonna use ours for kind of teaching. So in this, you are going to explain somewhere what it means. You can put it in the notes if you want. You also need to make sure you give credit to the image creator, like whoever took the picture where you got the picture. You need to give that credit, even though this is an academic or educational assignment. You still should give credit to the original owners of the picture because it's not yours and it's just polite, right? So you might put some shapes or pictures together. You might have some word bubbles. You know, you guys know what memes look like. You can decide how you want it to look. You're going to identify the example of figurative language and then explain it and give credit and make sure that you've spelled things right and all that good stuff. So here's one that I made an example of. So my example is this line. Right? So this is just a couple of shy guys looking for a 2-ply hefty bag to hold their love, and the love is leaking out. And so I put here, the metaphor, the example. So I know it's a metaphor. The example is just a shy guy looking for a 2-ply hefty bag to hold my love. And then the explanation is that love is abstract. The lyric is comparing love with something physical that can go into a trash bag. Hefty bags are name brands and known. That should be known. Not nose. Oh my gosh, I got very tiny. Known for being strong, which he presumably needs to hold the strong love he has. Right? Is that why? Is that why he said it? I don't know. Or he thinks love is garbage and that's why. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's what he meant because he was looking for the hefty bag for the love, I think. This one also could work for an illusion because it says hefty bag, which is a name brand. It doesn't say trash bag. So if you didn't know that hefty was a type of trash bag, you might not understand what he was talking about. Right. So if you get the reference to hefty being a trash bag, you get it. So it could have been an illusion. I just threw that in there. You don't have to throw that in there, but I did want to make sure that you guys understand what to do there. So I've just put in the notes, I put the song lyrics was from Drive By Train. The image credit went to Creative Commons clip art and a commercially licensed advertisement. This one was the shy guy thing. I don't know who those people are, but and then I put the explanation down there too, just so you guys could see it better. Make sense? You guys understand?